Let's talk about Web3 episode 2 right now here with Easy, with Ohnahji B. How we doing today? What do we think? What are our vibes like?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah. Go ahead, Easy. Go
Market's
ahead,
up,
Easy.
supposedly. I don't know. I check every so often, but it looks like it's going upwards.
You-
I guess we
Yeah,
all
I
good.
mean,
We all good. Just
it was
hang in there,
airdrop
you
day
know.
too, a little
That's
bit. I'm
true.
not
Right?
mad at airdrop day. So yeah,
Gotta love the airdrops.
gotta
Please
love the
pop an airdrop.
airdrops.
Keep them coming. The bags. I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I didn't qualify for the Zora drop because people were talking about getting their drops, and I had logged on yesterday and there was nothing. And then today I'm like, I'm gonna go check again. And so I logged out, refreshed, I logged in, and a message popped up that like the airdrop is live. So I checked and I got like I think. And I was like, phew, because I thought because I haven't bought the new like Zora art token coins, I just haven't got around to it. I didn't really understand it fully either, so I haven't jumped in. But I bought on Zora like from way back, like when Zora was like brand new, and I was still doing the site. We actually Cypher actually sponsored some of the live events in like Miami and I think NYC. So like it was like early days for Latasha too. She was just dropping her first stuff. And like I got to roll into these events as like VIP because I was part of Cypher and we were sponsoring. It was super fun. So I go a little ways back with Zora. So I was kind of bummed. Like yesterday, I'm like, I didn't get a single token. And then today they dumped it in my bag. So I'm happy again.
Yeah, I don't know. I got
There you go.
$4. I thought I have certain thoughts on Zora, but I want to hear your thoughts first on GP. Let's hear it. And I see
Yeah.
Jamie in the chat, so shout out Jamie. Also, yeah, we're live on Twitter, Twitch. So yeah, if you want, tap in, share, comment. But yeah, chatting a little bit about. I guess it is the news of the week though. So what's
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. There was some stuff, people were tuned into it early or something. They either sniped it or they had insider info, and they kind of plummeted the price. I saw that when it initially dropped, it was like what, like 5 cents, and now it's down. Well, last time I checked it was like 2 cents ish. So people were, you with the airdrop season, you're always gonna have people upset for sure. It's one of those PvPs. You get in early or you don't. If people were cheating on the back end, Zora's partnering with Base, they got a big bag. Who knows? I don't know. I'm sure, like, the crypto sleuths, Zach
Well,
and them.
Zora's from
Yeah,
Coinbase Ventures, right? So it's like
yeah,
it's not right. Like
right,
it
I
right.
is.
saw I saw a great little post from Matthew, aka Nifty Time. It was on Warpcast, and he was like, I'm tipping out all my like I think he maybe had like $60 or something, which he's I think done a lot on Zora, like with the new coins, everything. He's OG art collector. And so he was like, it's interesting. I think that he mentioned they raised, I don't know, $10 million or something, and they gave out like a million for the airdrop. So, I mean, I know it takes money to run stuff and whatnot, but, and then also, like you're mentioning the price, like maybe if I had gotten mine yesterday and it was worth a little bit, I probably would have sold half. I usually, when I get an airdrop, as soon as possible, unless I'm late, I sell a little because it's going to plummet off a cliff. And maybe if the community is strong and keeps going, a year or 2 years later, it gets up to that airdrop level. And if they're still doing cool stuff, it actually gains value and like it's worth holding some. I don't think it's worth selling your bag like after it's already plummeted off a cliff. What, you make a couple dollars? I would rather hold it and hope that people keep building using Zora, Base and Zora, get a strong relationship, and eventually that airdrop is, enough to pay some bills and also to hold some token for whatever, maybe there's some advantages to having a certain amount. I don't know. It's always a crapshoot with these airdrops. I mean, you just never know. But yeah, usually it plummets right away. People are the first people to
Right.
snag. So
Yep. But hey, just like you, I took half of that and put it in somewhere else. So yeah, but it wasn't like a huge
maybe they'll
amount
be
either. So
staking. Maybe they'll have
yeah,
staking rewards or something. Who knows?
maybe, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But
I don't know,
hey,
but I guess like the concept of Zora, right, is gonna be this like tokenized Instagram where every single thing you post is a token, right? that's its own like concept in and of itself. I don't know if I fully buy into this content coin concept, and I'm curious what you guys think. I'm curious where your mind's headed, because like super long term future, where are we gonna go, right? And that's where my mind's at, and I don't necessarily see this as an something new, innovative. I feel like it's similar to NFTs, similar to meme coins enough where it's mostly the same, just wrapped differently and on a platform to me. But I'm curious to what your guys' thoughts are. I get that it's big. I get, like we said, it was just an airdrop today. A bunch of creators did get some money, right? But I am like curious what your guys' thoughts are.
It's interesting. Like, you know, I guess like friend tech, that little friend tech bubble that happened where people were starting to tokenize access, buying your keys and whatnot. It's sort of so I think it kind of came out of some of that. Which was a short-lived bubble, but people made, like, especially influencers made massive money off people buying their keys and them owning, some buying their own, selling them and whatnot. I mean, single keys were going for multiple ETHs for like the big influencers on Twitter and stuff. So that was wild. That was crazy. And then there were a bunch of kind of like, similar copycat projects basically. And some did it better. And then Zora kind of doing a similar thing that, I think, what was it? Flows, I think, dropped something where they might have been first to do the actual, you drop your NFT and it's back pool of tokens. So you can always sell it back and like recoup without losses, which I'm like, that's genius. That's really cool because you don't have to wait for like the market to get better to sell an NFT. You could just basically get back what you put in if you needed that, right? So that's really a nice kind of, it's like insurance for collectors. That was a great idea. I think they're taking it much further. And then with this tokenizing every post, there's probably good things and maybe bad things. Like it's going to get hectic, like crazy. How do you even keep track of all these tokens that now you own, I guess, as the creator, and people can maybe buy them, sell them, trade them, whatever. Like that's a lot on the back end. I do think what I would have done if I was building it is I would have been like, okay, you can create as many tokens as you want. You can make a post and you can have it in sort of like a like organized, like here's Easy's like nature photography tokens, and all my posts that are about my photographies of flowers and trees and the beach, everything I do like that, which I post on Warpcast pretty much daily from my little walks and stuff, and people enjoy like seeing it. Maybe somebody would collect it. So I would have had like an organization, leave it sort of up to the individual to decide. I want to have like I'm gonna have 6 bags of tokens. One's my music, one's my photography, or maybe I have 3 different photography token contracts. One's my poetry, one's my AI art, one's this, that, and the other thing. Instead of having every single post just generate as a token on its own, that seems like a little maybe unwieldy. We'll see how it holds up, I guess, over time once there's millions and millions of posts and tokens. How do you kind of go through the history of that? Is it going to be easy? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I do know that artists like to have some freedom. So being stuck to one contract also has drawbacks, because when you want to look for something specific and you're on a platform, let's see, I'm trying to think of a platform like Known Oranges that sold to eBay. They had like one contract. Everything was under it. That was horrible. You couldn't search anything. It was like, I mean, they were very early, but they didn't do a great job with that. So there's two opposite ends of the spectrum. Known
And so you
origin,
just
and now
believe the spectrum that Zora is on is okay if they had it organized in terms
yeah.
of like boulders. That's literally all you're asking of Zora to update. That's pretty reasonable. Okay. I see that. I like it. I can understand that side of it. Okay. Ohnahji B, let's go. Rodeo also versus Zora. Curious
Yeah.
thoughts there as well. And I know Easy, if you want to chime in after as well, go crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot different. It's just to see kind of how those two platforms have kind of like gone to the extremes, right? With Rodeo, the latest news, they switched over to USDC for the whole backing of their whole platform, which is interesting move because to me it was working fine being on ETH, being on base ETH, and like for them to switch that is like, and the reasoning
Interesting. I
behind it
didn't know
was that,
that.
yeah,
When
the reason
was
behind it
this?
was that
How long ago?
this week, I think, right?
Oh
Or
wow.
yeah,
My
just recently.
ETH that I deposited, they went ahead and swapped that to USDC for
Hmm.
me. Like whatever I had left in ETH is now like
Right.
that. I should sign a smart contract to agree to swap my ETH to USDC. Like
Well,
that's a overstep. I can
but
see
you have it
how.
in but you have it in a custodial wallet, right? Like this will,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right? It's just a custodial wallet that we send funds to, if I'm not mistaken, on
exactly.
Rodeo,
It's
right?
not in our.
Yeah.
It's
So I
not in
think
my
this is a good
control.
opportunity for you to also explain what the difference between a custodial wallet and I guess different types of wallets in general, but right, like why they are able to do that. Where we always say, "Oh my goodness, crypto is immutable," we have this decentralized world, but like, why were they able to do that without you signing that?
A custodial wallet is one where, let's say, you sign up for a platform and they make you a wallet. It's not, and sometimes you can actually take the seed phrase of that wallet and put it into another wallet, and you're in control of the funds there. But in general, a custodial wallet, they're the custodian. They hold your funds. They could, if the site goes down, your money's gone. Like it's theirs. Like a non-custodial wallet, when you create your own seed phrase and you plug that in and you don't share it with anybody ever, no matter how like pining you are for the girl or whatever, you are in control. It's your responsibility, but it's your financial freedom at stake. So if you create your own wallet, MetaMask, Trust, wherever, you are the one that holds the keys to that wallet. If you make a wallet on Coinbase or Binance, generally that's a custodial wallet. You put funds there, they're holding it. You can take usually and create your private key or your seed phrase and be in control of those funds. But quite often on platforms, a centralized exchange, they're kind of holding the money. And so with this, yeah, that you deposit, and I would always just put a little bit in because also the NFTs were pretty affordable. So I put 10 or 20 bucks in, and I can buy NFTs for a month or two, depending on how frequently I'm picking them up. And it was really cool. But just changing from ETH to USDC, there's a lot of things that happen there. For them, it's probably better because using a stable coin, the price does not fluctuate. It's the same amount all the time. Whereas with ETH, like you could put in a little bit of ETH and ETH picks up, and all of a sudden you have much more value in your wallet on Rodeo, and you can like buy a bunch more
Right.
stuff. Like now we don't have that opportunity to lose funds either. You could lose
Right.
money by having it in ETH. So that's interesting. I didn't even know they did that. So
Yeah,
super
which
interesting.
that's like you hit on a major point. It's like, if we're talking about trying to be early, trying to quote unquote invest in the space, it's like we had that mechanism with when you're on the blockchain, as everything rises and everything goes up, everything rises with it. And for them to switch the platform over to a stable coin, it's like, and kind of like for me, at like the valley, right? Especially when we're seeing Bitcoin have a little jump and shit, I'm like, this is the worst
That's what I was
possible time
thinking
to
when
do
you
that.
said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
was like,
a big point to tack onto that is that the artists that earned ETH there had the opportunity to ride that out and make
yeah,
much more or lose. You can either way. It's been going down. We've been losing value, but probably, and it could go down more, but I feel like in sometime in the next couple months at least, we're going to see it reverse and things start picking up. And then the money that you've been making as an artist, I haven't minted on Rodeo myself. I wanted to a while ago, but I just get too busy to like focus on art often. So the money that artists are making by us buying a couple dollars worth of their art, when it's in ETH, they have this opportunity to, get a 2x, a 3x, a 5x, a 10x, depending on how long they just let that sit and ride out the markets. Now it's a stable coin. Everybody knows basically a stable coin is pegged to the US dollar. So you have to then go in every month or whatever, if you're an artist, pull out your USDC that you made and decide where you want to put it. Maybe you put some in Bitcoin. Maybe you just keep it there and it's a stable price. But there's less opportunity to earn, I feel like.
yeah, 1000%. I was like, right away, I was just like, Man, that took a whole lot of the future, you know, the future out of that platform. Like, is say the market blows up and then Rodeo blows up with it, or that's just like the social that becomes super popular. It's like we got an art social that's connected to blockchain. Now it's connected to blockchain, but in a way that they can be like, well, and the whole marketing behind it was like, we're dropping all the crypto BS, and it's like, why? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a
All the
major
artists
major
I
flip for
know
me.
on there are deeply steeped in crypto culture.
Correct.
They are
Correct.
not gonna be super stoked on this. I
So
can, say pretty with a pretty good, background.
one of my dev homies, he's works over there. He was actually part of the group that was created Pop Rank, and it was one of the games that we used with the Ohnahjis, and it was awesome. But he was telling me, he's like, yeah, we've got a lot of feedback, like a lot of user feedback, especially coming from like Instagram and some of the other socials, that a lot of the people over there, a lot of the kids are like, we don't really want to dive into something that is like crypto focused. So I think that was the whole play here. But it's like, if your whole user base right now is like crypto native, like, why are we trying to alienate that? It's
Well,
sad like that.
they want bigger numbers. There's a lot of false information about blockchain and crypto that kids don't know. They haven't been trained up on crypto and blockchain. They haven't spent years getting an understanding of it. The
Right.
natives have. So if they're just focused on, growing the numbers of users,
Yeah.
then sure, it might make sense to be like, oh, you just earned dollars here. Come on, kids. Like,
Yep.
bring your TikTok, art over here or something. I don't know if there is TikTok art per se, but
You should probably.
that feels like kind of the messaging here.
That's funny. No, and but on the flip side, to see kind of like Zora go the 100% opposite, like, no, everything's a token. Like, you know what I'm saying, was it's kind of jarring, especially because the way that they've been rolling that functionality out, it was kind of like over time where you had the ability to kind of at first attach your post to a different token that already existed, and then had the ability to make that a token, but then it's like, nope, everything's a token now. Just like run with it or whatever. It's like, kind of taking those tools away from the crypto native people that have been using them and the artists, but being like, oh, this is going to make it easier for mainstream and the masses and stuff. But it does it, maybe it doesn't. I didn't expect to see Zora turn into the pumped out fun of bass. Like, that was left field. That's not on my bingo card. So
Yeah.
Wild times.
I just think this is more of a reason to understand why you should build your own platform and decentralize your data and build it yourself. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're doing on these platforms, like utilize them, take value out of them in terms like put value in if you really like them, but like on the side, understand what is your end game, right? Like there's all these companies out there that at some point will and can change at will, and it's not under your control at all, right? So while you're utilizing some of these platforms, make something under your own control, right? Build your website, build your newsletter list, etc., etc.
From the very first days of like, early 2019, talking about this stuff with artists like, shout out Josie Bellini, huge artist in the space, was here early, always decided to basically, I mean, she minted on a few platforms too, like here and there, but she basically always used her own smart contracts. And like, for this super, huge respect for her for doing that. And yeah, it's just like that gives you control over your art instead of putting it in someone else's hands, your art or your funds, whatever. Like when you use these centralized platforms in decentralized neighborhoods, they have the opportunity to rug, to just go away, whatever. They're like, oh, our runway ran out, we're shutting down, or we sold to like Amazon or Google or whoever. Like there is that you have no like definite future with any of these platforms, and we've seen many of them go away. Maker's Place, super OG, one of the earliest places where I minted my first NFTs that actually were like in a marketplace that a few people bought and stuff. They were like legendary, and they just had to shut down. I mean, they're supposedly reopening with a new product and, down the line a little ways. They're working on something. But I actually lost some art there because I had a piece that was stuck in like a minting loop transaction, so I couldn't get that one out. Like you were able, they gave us a few months to like transfer out your stuff that's on platform, and I got most of it out. There was one that was stuck in this minting loop, and I tried reaching out. I wrote emails, I DM'd on Twitter. Nobody, they were probably too busy. Nobody got back to me in time to be able to rescue that one. So you just
Yeah.
never know. Like
Dang, that
like you're
sucks.
saying, if you build something, like to use all this stuff, yeah, you need to like be visible. You meet people, you find people to work with, collaborate with, whatever, just enjoy their art and music and stuff. But if you're not sort of like, if you have a vision, a mission, like a reason to be like doing this stuff, and your end goal is to like, make a difference in some sector, or even just like to make it your living to maybe sell art or music, you'd be way better
Yeah.
off using AI or something, and figuring out how to make your own contract or your own little platform. And then, you use the bigger ones to talk about what you're doing, and you bring people
Yeah.
over, and that would be something that would be like built to last.
Or even just, back to the beginning with Manifold or Third Web, or just
Yep.
utilizing,
Out of Manifold.
your
Totally.
old, yeah, your own smart contract by itself and just running that way. So I was talking to Raven, shout out to Raven. He was asking me about in process, and but he's like, well, what's the airdrop and stuff look like? And I'm like, yeah, that no, that functionality is not there. You're better off with your Manifold and your Third Web and stuff, which those tools still work perfectly fine. So yeah, it's interesting.
What do you mean by airdrop? Like you can't.
So yeah, so if I meant something and I want to send it to a list or a CSV file of people, I want to pick the
Oh, I
initial people it
see.
goes to and drop it to them. It doesn't have that kind of functionality. So yeah, so
Yeah.
in process is just I
Yeah,
put my art up
no.
there, I put
I
my
know.
work, and yeah,
Yeah.
they go and get it. And
I
there's
like
no
it.
like and there's no like caps or anything like that. So just all of the control and the super tools are going to be in those Third Web and Manifold for sure.
Yeah, those
I'm
are two
looking
banging
for,
opportunities and resources.
I got on a call with a dev on Tuesday, yesterday morning. Me and Jose jumped on. Jose had met him somewhere. Podium actually is the platform. Podium, their tagline is "Own the Conversation." It's in the App Store, but there's a bunch of different podiums, and I've got a few referrals if you guys are interested. So this platform is pretty dope. It's kind of like it's an audio spaces platform. I think I mentioned about how video would be cool. He's like, we are trying to work on that. It's a little complex. They have excellent audio quality, like really good. Jose was, we tested out. He's playing guitar and singing. It sounds really good. The like interesting twist is, oh, and you can have it open public, anybody can join. You can have it anybody that has the link can join, or you can have it like token gated with people that buy your like access pass. I could have like an easy pass, and that would be, I believe, launched as like an NFT on a bonding curve. But the coolest kind of part about it is, like, say I'm hosting a room, I can obviously speak as much as I want, but everybody who joins starts with a 5 minutes on the clock. Anytime they open their mic, that countdown is going down. And the only way they can gain more time is if somebody hits the thumbs up next to them and likes
That's
what they're
cool.
saying. And there's a thumbs down too, which I assume is taking away like 10 seconds at a time, right? But so you can give them 10 seconds more by hitting the thumbs up. It was just like, it's a very novel approach to like a spaces where like you actually have to add quality to the conversation to gain more time to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
And like they've got, they're gonna have a token come in and different stuff. But anyways, it seems cool, and I might do a little, try it out a little bit for a little while, and do a little show over there or something with Jose, or we can get a crew together and be like, all right, let's check out Podium. But the guy was really cool. And yeah, there's a few novel aspects to it. So there's people building all sorts of stuff. It's just like about being out there, looking around, finding cool stuff, and then experimenting with it and giving the devs feedback so they can make it better. And similar with like the far not Farcade, Farhouse.
That's cool. I
Have you been
like
have you
that.
been on Farhouse in a while? Are you there
Yeah,
quite
they
I
frequently?
do.
host
They do it
I
weekly.
host Farhouse Fridays. This will be the
Sick.
17th or 18th week in a row.
There
It's
you go.
dope. Like it's actually got the best audio quality out of any platform for hosting a space or streaming,
That's
like
sick.
better than Discord, which used to be kind of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably because they use, it's the same devs as Huddle. They have like, a lot of
Dope.
background in this stuff. And they just dropped an in-frame version for Warpcast. So I still use the standalone app because the audio quality is better there because it's not running inside of another program running inside of a program, right? So it's still a little like they're still doing work. It's only a couple weeks old now, the frame. So they're adding to that. But yeah, they've got the standalone, and now they've got people can just join in frame. Ever since they dropped the frame, we get more foot traffic, which is nice because you don't have to have the app. You
Yeah,
can just see something live happening in Farhouse through Warpcast and be like, I'm gonna check this out.
I like that.
And they've
Yeah.
got, side chat, emojis, you can tip people, like it's dope.
I
It's
think
dope.
that's the future of Web3, personally, not coining every post, right? Like, I really like how, like, what is Web3 social, right? Like, decentralized social, the beauty of it is to be able to put internet native links within the social feed. That isn't possible in traditional Web2 platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can't also post to all of them at once unless you pay a big subscription to some big company with a ton of APIs, right, where they could technically post anything that they wanted to at any point. But these platforms give you an opportunity to mass send in different groups, also to different decentralized groups, and just connect and move your social graph with your following as well to different applications. And there's just so many pieces of the internet puzzle that weren't solved yet when social media was being made that I feel like Farcaster is doing a really innovative job taking that approach.
Best platform, best social media platform I've used by hands down. Warpcast and the Farcaster ecosystem for me,
Yeah.
for what I do, which is not like I'm not trying to be some like influencer, have a million followers, like get big deals with like advertisers. I mean, I'd love to earn more than I do now, but dude, I made like $6 last week off just I got the $3 drop from leaderboard position or whatever. Actually, I think Zal maybe threw me a buck. Matthew threw me a buck. Like I got like
Sick.
$3 or $4 tips from people because I
Yeah.
interact with them, plus the like little $3
Oh,
from just my weekly activity. Plus, I'm like playing all the games. I'm pulling the casino levers and I'm getting tiny bits of these tokens here and there, which now
Yeah.
some of those are like a buck instead of like a few cents a piece because I do it every day. I'm like, oh, it's reset time. Wake up in the morning, go through my little like, fun apps, create a few AI images with some of them, say GM a couple of times, like through the different little, through the frames. And it's fun. Play my Farcaster game.
Yeah.
Like every day I check in on these different things. And some of those will also be an airdrop at some point. So like there's
Yeah.
that to look forward to. I know Farcade's gonna. They are. It's like airdrop in 2026 or whatever. When you open it up, like it's
Might have to
So
start
like
playing again.
yeah, dude, I'm on. I think I hit my day 60 streak of checking in each day and playing a game. And like,
wow.
you get like your, mega crates every once in a while, like, and it's like a bunch of points and XP. And it used to be tickets, but now I guess maybe they don't have tickets anymore. I just kind of noticed. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I have like a little list of things I do when I first get online, and a bunch of it's over in the Farcaster
I
ecosystem.
think even in just
Sick.
last month, so many new cool things have come out, especially with builders building and vibe coding apps. Something I just played around with is this tipping app where every single like you like is a tip of a certain amount. So I've set mine to 5 cents. So every single person that I come through's feed, if I give a like I can immediately send from my wallet to theirs 5 cents, which is just kind of a really cool feature, I feel
Dude,
like.
yeah,
Like
I
just
need
something
to
you
bump
can't
up.
do without Web3 social.
I saw that, and that's super cool. I haven't turned it on yet because I need to fund my bags a little more because I like a lot of people's stuff, or make it like if it's like a fraction of a penny, it's not worth like sending. I'd rather be at like, a couple of pennies every time I like someone's stuff, but I do like a lot of people's stuff. So I would just run my bag down super quick. But I saw that and that's awesome. And I've been throwing in every day, like, maybe it averages probably to $1 into the tip in, just the main, you throw that into the tip in thing, it goes out, it's like getting distributed, whatever. I got, I think, 100,000 QR dropped to me just yesterday or the day before because I've been
Hmm.
consistently adding every day. I do a little tip in the tipping bot. And then I was in the like top 10, so I got a nice drop of QR because they're partnered. So
Huh.
it's really just being active and like, I don't have a lot of like funds to play with right now, but I'm still like, the little bit I have, I generally am just giving out, whether that's to like, Gitcoin, like people, trying to get funding on Gitcoin or Giveth or in these little frames over in Warpcast that is like basically just, it's pretty much gonna go get distributed to cool people. Someone wins the jackpot, but they're another cool person in the ecosystem. So it's like, it's fun, it feels good. You're kind of like, it's somewhat like charity. You're like, okay, this is going towards a good cause. It's not enough to like put my kid through college. I'm not gonna miss that like dollar a day very much. So it's been really interesting just to keep experimenting with that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I think the really cool concept that is possible with Web3 is the ability to just participate in internet stuff and through that be able to earn money. Because
Yeah.
in a traditional sense, you normally have to um, do a job online, whether that's like a proper gig or consulting or this or that. But in reality, the only thing you need to do for money is provide value. And for a lot of internet services previous to Web3, they took a lot of your value and didn't necessarily pay you for that. And some of these Web3 companies, whether they be giving you a very little amount of that value or a lot about amount of that value, depending on who you are and what you're building. I mean, that's our whole goal of the ZAO is to put all the value back in the creator's hands. But I think the ability to monetize anything, any portion of that, being on the internet and spending your money right, it's like why should I be watching ads if you're getting paid for the ad, right? Like at some point, every single ad I watch, I should be getting a portion of that revenue as well, right? Like there's things that we can now do that weren't ever possible before, and I think that lends to a better internet for all.
Yeah. Well, the legacy of social media is basically them just making a lot of money off you. All the ads you watch, training their AIs and over the last few years off our data, literally just selling what you like, what you say. Like they sell our data like to a lot of different people. If you go, whatever, Facebook, if you go read deep into their like user contracts or all of them from Google to, even just when you're using Google for search. Even your car now, if you have a new enough car to where it has a lot of computer systems and onboard systems, entertainment and GPS and, hands-free, whatever, microphones, like in the contracts when you buy these cars, it says like you can opt out, but it takes a bit of work. Like all that data is being sold. So from all the social media, from all the searches and queries, from, whatever, Netflix now, like originally you paid for streaming because you didn't want to watch commercials. Like that's how it started basically. And now they slap commercials in all the streaming platforms and they're like, well, now you got to buy the double X Platinum Plus for another double the price to get out of your commercials, right? Which was
Yeah.
like the whole reason I went there in the first place. So it's crazy to think that these giant corporations have made, billions of dollars off our data and we've made zero. Now there's a chance at least to start earning a little bit by using these kind of web3 social platforms. And even if it's like a token of appreciation, like I'm like happy I got like $6 last week. Like that still feels better than knowing I'm just getting used and abused. And like I own my content. I connect with people. And then if and people are liking what I'm sharing, I get paid a little bit. like that is dope. That's way better than, spending my time on, Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. And not that there's something wrong with using those platforms. It's just I decide to use my time more on like Warpcast, or you kind of have to use Twitter. X is the kind of main thoroughfare of like information about like crypto and blockchain and arts and music, like it's legacy, everybody's still there, and maybe someday it won't be the main place to go. Maybe someday down the line in a few years there'll be like a couple of really great web3 blockchain based social things that are like that, everybody's using. TikTok has just been this crazy phenomenon over the last few years, that like took over, and it'll be really interesting. I guess probably they're extending again the ban or something. They'll probably never shut it down. I mean, I don't know. It's too much
Well, they
money
can't.
involved.
It's yeah. There's a big market there, but yeah, I think what TikTok
Yeah.
created was the infinite algorithm, and that concept wasn't available before. And I think creating a finite algorithm is kind of like that other level of it, right? Like if I have a certain amount of creators that I do want to see, and I want to have a section of my feed where I only see those individuals, I can do that, right? Like if I want to have my feed be checking out Easy's following and having everyone that Easy follows be my feed, I can do that, right? Like there's different things that we can create with this. And one of the things that I wanted to also include is damn, I'm forgetting it now, but I had another point on top of that.
Well, TikTok's crit. Like I've never had the app. I've only
Oh,
seen
I
some
know.
TikTok
You don't even
through YouTube.
see, sorry, yeah. You don't even see what you want to see anymore on TikTok. Every 1 in 4 videos is actually a video that's part of the algorithm. Well, I guess because the quote unquote algorithm is changed, but like a new video that you would maybe want to watch, one is an ad, and then two, like an official sponsored ad, and then the other two are two creators selling something in the TikTok shop, which are other ads, right? So it's like
But
75%
it's
of your feed is an ad.
Dude, I like I said, I've never had it. I think it's sketchy to have it on a device, especially if you use that for banking or crypto or anything important. Because they've, when you sign away, you sign away like all the rights in that contract. It's even worse than like Apple or Google contract. Um, but so I do see some TikTok content through YouTube, which I do use and watch. And usually it's like, someone making kind of fun of like, some TikTok creator or something, but they touch on, yeah, it seems like everything, almost everything is like an ad, either a creator trying to sell you something mixed in with ads that are like direct ads. And then like, you just see funny stuff about like whatever famous TikToker getting arrested for this or that, some weird crazy challenge or like whatever. And they're like, it'll be some like 20-year-old kid that's like getting arrested by the cops or something, and they'll be like, don't you know who I am? I'm super famous on TikTok. I have like 2 million followers. Nobody knows you. Like unless you're like a massive movie, you need to be like a super famous movie star or like legendary musician for like a rando cop to know who you are. So like there's just this also, and it creates this
It's
inflated,
entitlement.
yeah, this entitlement and like this super super like main character sin for the whole generation that's growing up on it, which is scary.
1,000,000%. I mean, well, in everyone's average day-to-day life, they see, whatever, this, that, and a third, maybe one or two absolutely insane things, once in a lifetime experiences. But with the internet, everyone sees other people's once in a lifetime experiences every single day. And because there's so much individuals and so much of a volume, it's like people could have a 80-year long life, and in one of those moments be sharing something, and you could be seeing that with every person, right? Like their best moment in every way, shape, or form. So I think that social media gives that a different virtual presence as opposed to the IRL presence, where like the in real life is reality and where we are, but the digital presence also has a say in that IRL. But it's like there's it's an interesting mix. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like what we're here to rock out, talk about, and yeah, like let's talk about Web3. It'll be awesome to start getting some more guests on. I may need to skip next week because I will be headed over to FarCon, getting them rocking
Nice.
and rolling. If maybe we'll have it, maybe won't have it. But yeah,
No worries.
we'll see it
I'm
and rock it out.
I'm traveling all Monday, and so I'll get back home to Costa Rica. Probably I'll get to the house at like 3 or 4 a.m. on Tuesday. So I'll probably bring for a day. So yeah, if we skip next week, that's fine with me. I'll just be kind of starting to get and catch them stuff in days the next
Yeah,
week. I will be excited to hear about how that goes and hear about it. Get all the rundown after that.
yeah, a million percent. I think there's gonna be a lot of things and connections made, and I kind of need to work my next week off, my butt off to really get set up and ready to rock and roll to get on board some of these folks that we're gonna be talking to. Super excited to get out there, super excited to get deeper into a lot of other ecosystems and spread the ZAO love, see what's out there, and showcase all of that resources, everything for the ZAO. So yeah,
Yeah. I did see. I guess I'm speaking at NFT NYC. I
I
never got
did
like
see
an
that.
email. And I found out through, like, a Twitter post that had me
Yeah,
on it, that was like, "Come catch this panel with, like, Binks and, a few people," and I
yeah,
was like, "Oh, did they send me an email?" And I, like, looked again, I'm like, "No, not yet." They probably will because they send you, like, your link to your, whatever, speaker ticket
yeah,
and all that stuff.
yeah,
So, yeah, I'm gonna be, making my way back up north again and
yeah.
heading out, getting myself over there. Who knows?
Hell
Hopefully, I
yeah.
can find some kind of killer paying Web3 job between now.
There we go. There we go. Ohnahji B said on the road but still locked in. W stream. Let us know how FarCon goes. We will definitely get to that next time we meet in a couple weeks. And yeah, I think just in
Where
general the
is
IRL is everything.
where does Farcon go down?
This one is in NYC.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Different
Yeah.
place depending
I think
on
so. I think the last one wasn't in New York, so good time, good
yes.
place for me. I got a lot of friends, family, and then also Web3 homies out there, so it'll be a good spot to connect with folks. And I just got
Nice.
accepted into a bunch of different events that I had been on the wait list for like 3 or 4 weeks. So it's exciting to now know, okay, like we're gonna be cooking when we're there. I'm excited like to bring my laptop and build too. Meet some builders, like literally just hack up some stuff because like there's a lot of things we could
Right?
build and there's a lot of ideas that we could rock out. And if someone's
Dude,
all interested in what we're doing, like I could find a job for them in what we're building, right? Like we have so much to do.
that'll be super
Um,
exciting, bro. Because yeah,
yeah,
you might just like find someone cool. You both bust out your laptops and like whether you're like at a cafe or like in some corner of like convention center or whatever, you could literally start building like right there. That's so dope.
yeah, 100%. Appreciate you, Easy and Onaji B. Yeah, he said last year was Venice Beach for FarCon. So, but yeah, that was episode 2. Hopefully, episode 3 will rock it out. Talk, excuse me, talk IRL, talk FarCon, talk a little bit all of that stuff. And yeah, what's cooking, what's coming, and I'm sure there'll be a lot that happens in the next 2 weeks, anyways, to talk about. So, yeah, appreciate
Yeah.
everyone for tuning in. And yeah, I don't know, Easy, if you want to say any last words.
Just have a great time at FarCon. We'll be in touch, I'm sure. If you need me to help run ZAO Fractal, I should be up for that on Monday. Oh, shit. Will I be? I might be. Actually, I might miss this Monday. I tried to make my layover in the window of Easy's
Ha,
corner so I could still host my Monday show, but I don't know if I'll be it is kind of a long layover. I'll let you know. I
cool.
might miss the fractal this week. But for everybody out there, thanks for joining in or listening in later. Stay safe in the metaverse streets. Don't click any links from strangers or hot girls or airdrops or free NFTs. It ain't worth getting trained. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers. Peace.